Greetings, passer or buyers, or those who have come for a tale. Today I have a tale for you. Now this is not like the others. This is not of emerald-haired warrior. No, this tale is a tale of war. A tale of magic, of rivalry, of brothers, of dragons, and of course, of yanderes, of death, of insanity. Now, let's begin. We began our story we began our story maybe 10,000 years before chakra was ever even thought of. Before humanity as a whole existed. There were two brothers, powerful brothers. Each was a legendary deity-like beast. These were known as dragons. The first was known as Po, the dragon god of light, creation, positivity, happiness, and dreams. He was the nicest guy you'd ever meet. And he didn't even want to kill. He wanted peace. However, his brother, on the other hand, and rival, Jindiao, was a much different being. Jindiao saw all mortals, which at the time were anthropomorphic animals, as weak-minded creatures that needed to be enslaved. And so, he began his conquest to enslave the entire human and the entire mortal race. However, when Po discovered this, he immediately tried to fight his brother. And despite being the parallel opposite of Po, the dragon of destruction, death, negativity, hate, war, darkness, and many other things. He respected his brother and cared for him. The two reluctantly battled in the sky. As green lightning would shatter and would stream from the clouds and shatter the earth, as golden lightning would do the same. The two brothers would have a battle in the skies. They'd begin floating, using mountains and making them float, and then send them hurling towards their opponent and towards the other. And then they would use their powers of life energy, the original life energy known as chi, to create blasts and beam attacks, along with fire breath. Poe had a divine golden fire breath, which was able to burn evil and heal the good, while Jindiao had a jade green fire that was able to burn the good and heal the evil. They were extremely powerful, equally matched opponents, so their battle shook the very foundations of the earth, mortal, and so, for 13 years, and for 1300 years, no, for 130 years, no, 137 years, a great battle happened. The two brothers would duel longer and longer and longer and longer, never truly getting even one advantage over the other. Until one day, Jindao sought the very source of all creation and destruction, the core of all chi itself, the wellspring, which was a perfect combination of both their powers. If one of them was to absorb it, they would become a god. He desired this power to try and defeat his brother. However, he did not want to kill him. Instead, he only wanted his brother unconscious until his deed was done. However, his brother said no. And the two rushed at each other at incredible speeds at the very temple which the wellspring was hidden. The two used their most powerful attacks at each other. However, they accidentally aimed them both at the wellspring, causing a very powerful chain reaction. The wellspring's energy exploded around the entire temple, causing massive destruction, creating such a powerful blast that the two brothers, their souls, were literally punched out of their very bodies, as their corporeal forms were transformed into bone, and were, left nothing but husk and bone. Now the elder brother, now both brothers, were far gone for many years, until one day a being came, a powerful, mysterious being, wielding strange eyes, skin, horns, and even a weird-looking form. It came there with something in hand, a seed of some sort. It planted the seed in the ground, and the seed transformed into a ginormous, terrifying tree, which sucked the life out of the very mortals dry. However, the being did not know what was about to happen, and what would happen. And suddenly, out of the very ground came two strange incorporeal creatures. One appeared to be made of gold, and appeared to be made of some sort of liquid or air like gold. This was the soul of Poe. The other appeared to be made of an air or liquid like jade. This was the soul of Jindiao. The two who may have fought for won for a very long time, but they realized that if they did not stop the being, then there would never, and then their battle would never continue, and that all life would be destroyed. And evil or not, Jindiao only wanted to enslave the world's mortals, not kill them. And so, the two spirits teamed up, so the two spirit dragons teamed up in combo attacks to defeat the mysterious creature, which stood absolutely no chance. The creature escaped with a small amount of life left. When it reached its home, the creature, known as an Otsutsuki, wrote scriptures of these two destructive spirits. It wrote pictures of them and told them to anyone who would listen. The creature called them the Guardians of the Earth. And the Otsutsuki called them the Guardians of the Earth. However, and many feared this until one day, thousands of years later, newer Otsutsuki, he came along, and the old ones faded to the pages of history. And so, the brothers' story was forgotten. And over time, the newer leaders thought of it as nothing but an old children's folk tale, and sent their two most powerful, and the princess and a high-ranking member, Ishiki and Kaguya, to the Earth. And since they sent Princess Kaguya and a high-ranking member, Ishiki, to the Earth to collect the chakra fruit which had been growing. However, Kaguya betrayed Ishiki, who was in truth slightly powerful than her before she'd consumed the chakra fruit. However, before he could get the finishing blow on her, out of nowhere, there it was. A pair of golden eyes leapt and stared in from the shadows, and a pair of green and of jade eyes did the same. And suddenly the two terrifying phantoms rose from the shadows and attacked Ishiki, realizing that he had terrible plans for the Earth and its soon-to-be new mortals. The three had a great battle. Ishiki was utterly powerless to defeat the two gods, and was destroyed. He screamed in pain, but to no avail. None of his powers were strong enough. He couldn't shrink them, as they were souls in corporeal forms, and in non-corporeal forms. They were now. He could not absorb their chakra, as they had none. So, he simply died by poofing into dust. Kaguya was terrified of the two. She then realized, out of her own fear, that the two beings were too great and too powerful. So she created a new art. One which was not even Otsutsuki type. She created the first seal. She called it the Seal of Heaven and Hell. As suddenly jade green chakra chains wrapped around. Hold on. Sorry about that. Jade green chains made of jade green chi wrapped around Poe's soul, as golden chains made of chi did the same aim to Jindao. The two brothers were sealed away within a palace. They were transformed into murals. And into a mural. Kaguya prayed to this mural that whenever they broke free, the two powerful deities would not try to attack her. Fortunately for her, they could still hear and see through the mural. The gods decided to let her off easily whenever they were free. However, over time, a great battle happened between Kaguya and her two sons, Hagoromo and Hamura, who destroyed the palace in their battle. The mural, however, being the first seal ever, was indestructible. And so it was lost into the caves of rubble forever. Or so they thought. We skip many years later as we see a boy walking through the forests. This is Naruto Uzumaki Inamekaze. He's a boy with strong chakra. And he lives happily. His brother gets praised for sealing and for being the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, and being in its cage and saving their village, while Naruto was easily forgotten, because he had no special beast inside of him, which made him a hero. In fact, they were told that Naruto held the soul of the Nine Tails inside of him. They feared this fact and beat the ever-loving crap out of Naruto, who still smiled through the pain, as he was too innocent to even realize what they were doing to him was painful and wrong. Hold on. Oh dear. Sorry about that. Anywho, back to the story. As we see Deku walking, and he falls in a hole. One leading to a underground cave. Naruto being confused, walks around. When suddenly, he hears some voices, both male, whispering to him. Deku walks to where he sees a mural of some sort. It's old and dusty, but intact. Oh, sorry, not Deku. Naruto. Naru freaking Toe. Naruto, who then touches the mural, which has never been touched, not even by Kaguya herself. As suddenly, he wakes up in a pitch black void. As he then says, "Where am I? Where am I?" As he then sees two people walk up to him. The first one is in a red sort of gi with red, black, and white hair. As the man then says, "So, this is the boy." As then another man wearing white and black then says, "Yep, brother, this is the boy. I told you I sensed a pure aura nearby, and I sensed an impure one. This boy must be at the stage of life where he is both pure and impure. What a coincidence." "What a coincidence indeed, brother." Naruto then says, "Excuse me, who are you two?" The two would then say, "Oh, where are our manners?" As then the one wearing a red gi would say, "I am Jindiao, the dragon god of destruction, chaos, death, annihilation, negativity, hatred, murder, genocide, oblivion, annihilation, expurgation." As Poe would then say, brother, you're scaring him. I am Poe, the god of happiness, positivity, order, truth, justice, light, all that is good and kind, creation, did I say positivity and kindness? Oops, must slip my mind. As Naruto would then say, where are we? And why did you bring me here? As the two then said, "It wasn't us who brought you here, it was you. You touched our seal. You entered it, and you entered our seal. You see, many years ago, we were both sealed inside of this mural by a very powerful mortal called Kaguya Otsutsuki. She feared us at the time, so of course she would have sealed us away." As then Jindiao said, "While it was the only explanation, it doesn't mean that we were okay with it, my dim-witted brother." As he then backhand Poe in the forehead. Backhand Poe in the back of his head. As he'd then say, "Ow." As he would then say, "I want now. Boy, you are here not because of just me nor my brother. You are here because the universe, in a way, has decided for you to be our vessel." Naruto, confused, would then say, "Vessel?" As the two would then say, "Oh yes, behold!" As suddenly a divine golden light would engulf around Poe, as a terrifying jade light would engulf Jindiao. The two would then morph into giant, terrifying eastern dragons. As Jindiao would then say, "Behold, my true form. Man, it's been so long since I've been in this form. Ah, yes." Poe would then say, "And behold my true form. As you can see, I'm a lot more soft looking than my brother." As Naruto then said, "So wait a minute, you two are literal dragons?" As they then nodded, and Naruto began and squealing in happiness, saying, "Wait, can you guys help me become Hokage?" The two looked at him puzzled and said, "What's a Hokage?" Naruto would then gab on and on and on about the Hokage and all the other Kage and their jobs and duties, as well as chakra. The two were very interested in what the world had become. As Jindiao then said, "Well, boy, you certainly know a lot more about this world than us, so we'll be sticking with you. Got it?" As the two would then grab onto and would then turn into their soul forms and would go into Naruto. As in the real world, Naruto would look on both of his arms. Seeing on his left, there was a jade green tattoo, which seemed to emanate a glowing aura. It looked like that of a dragon. The other, on his other arm, was a golden tattoo, and with a golden marking, which also looked like a dragon, as he then heard two voices in his head. As Jindiao then said, "Alright, boy, now we're going to start training you. After all, we can't have a weak host. Isn't that right, Po?" As Po then said, "Yeah, I guess." As we go somewhere else. Hold on. As we see a woman in a sort of dark, pitch black, void-like castle. As she then says, "So, my children are free, or as free as possible, that is, have found a vessel. Let's see. He definitely is something, and in the future, he has potential to be, let's see, rankings. My children are dragon gods, and he has potential of being the ranking of a, holy smokes, dragon primordial." Well, looky there. And I thought I was alone. What a thrill. Well then, I guess I know who's my mate, and who's gonna be my mate in a couple of years. Naruto Uzumaki. As the woman would then chuckle, as suddenly a purple chi-like aura would surround her, as she would then turn into a giant Chinese dragon. As she would then say, "Finally, a mate. After tens of thousands of billions of trillions of quadrillions of years, I'll finally have someone there." Hopefully, I should then step down a pair of Vanta black stairs. As we then see a pile of extremely large red bones. As she then says, "Hopefully he'll be a lot more faithful than you, Red." As the woman would then begin chuckling and would transform back. As she would then say, "I'll have him. I will have that boy. or else my name isn't. As we go back to Naruto, who feels a unholy chill down his spine. As he then says, "What was that?" The two dragons then say, "It could be that you're afraid of the training that I have planned." As Poe then says, "Either that or you're feeling the aura of another powerful dragon. That's kinda how we are." As Naruto then lifted up one of his eyebrows and said, "There are other dragons?" As then said, "Oh, yes, of course." As Jindiao then said, "Our mother is the most powerful dragon. Our father was second, but she dealt with him for cheating." As Poe then said, "Yeah, Mom's really powerful. Plus, she's extremely terrifying as well. Like, if there's one person you don't want to mess with, it's my mom." As Jindao then said, "As much as I hate to admit it, I agree with my brother. Our mother is a terrifying, draconic evil, an entity of pure madness and insanity. She's also very old-fashioned, so instead of calling someone her boyfriend, she calls them her mate. She also usually wears outfits like black and purple kimonos, with very fancy headgear, like tiaras or crowns or giant war helmets." As Naruto then said, "Holy, your mom seems terrifying." As the two then said at the same time, "You have no idea." As we skip 10 years, Naruto is now 14. He's training in the woods, away from the Leaf Village, because when he was 8, he left, as the brothers told him to leave. Now the brothers had been with Naruto for so long that they actually considered him family. As we see Naruto punching giant boulders and instantly sending them out of the atmosphere. As Jindao would then say in Naruto's head, "Very good, boy. Very good, Naruto. Your strength is still lacking. If you want to at least be able to beat me or my brother in sparring, you need to be stronger." As then Poe said, "Also, how is your chi? How is your chi exercises coming along?" As Naruto would then say, "Let's see here." As he would then hold out his right palm, as he would then hold up the arm with the green dragon's marking on it, as his palm would then begin glowing red, and begin glowing green, as he would begin moving it in thin air. As suddenly Naruto's body was engulfed with a red and white energy, as he felt like an animal, a ravaging, violent, rampant beast that hunger for blood, death, and destruction. As he then said, "What is this?" As then, and his arm began speaking in the voice of Jindiao, as he then said, well then, Naruto, it appears that you were actually able to activate my chi. Interesting. Because you were born with chakra, it appears that my chi merged with your chakra, creating this form. Let's see what you can do. As the dragon would then say, "Now, boy, go. Now go. Try to activate a fireball. And try to do a fireball jutsu." As he'd then say, "Okay." As he would then begin doing the hand signs and would say, a dragon style fireball jutsu. I'm roaring fireball jutsu. As suddenly a jade green fireball with a jade green and red jade fireball would blast from Naruto's mouth with a combination of flame and lightning added to it, incinerating everything in its path. As he then said, "Very good. It appears, like I expected, your chakra and my chi have merged into a singular compound. Quite interesting. I'd love to see what else it can do." As he'd then say, try to use a beam." As he'd then say, "Okay." As he would then hold out his hand, and his hand with the green marking on it. As it suddenly a green and red orb, and a jade green orb would appear in his hand. As it would then begin expanding and expanding and expanding, seeming like it was made of green wind-like energy. As it became like fire, and as the wind soon became jade green fire, with a red aura surrounding it. As, completely on his own, without even thinking about it, he said the words, "Jindiao Chaos Rasengan!" Jindiao style, Chaos Rasengan! As he then rushed over to a mountain at the speed of sound and at the speed of light. And suddenly, a green flame like electricity emanated from the Rasengan, surrounding, crackling through the entire mountain, which is around half the size of Mount Everest. As suddenly, the red aura began collapsing around the entire mountain. As then Naruto removed his arm, and the entire mountain and turned back, and the entire glow faded away until a red lightning emanated from the shattering mountain and exploded it into nothingness. As he then said, What was that?" Jindiao, sounding him, and Jindiao, being impressed, then said, "It appears you have more potential than I previously thought, Naruto. At first, I thought you'd be able to use only my brother's powers. But never did I expect you'd actually be able to create your own chakra-based attacks using my chi. It seems that because of your troubled past with humans, my chakra need to activate. Amazing. Now, I want you to turn off my arm, my chakra, and try using my brother's. As he then said, okay. As Naruto then turned off the chakra and turned off the red mode, as he then tried to emanate the other one and activate the other one. However, it didn't work. But, however, after a couple of seconds, Naruto's arm set ablaze with a golden and black energy. As he then said, "Whoa, what is this?" As then he heard Poe's voice saying, "Holy cow, it looks like my chi mixed with your chakra. Holy cow, that looks awesome. I wonder what you can do with... Are you, like, invincible? Do you think you could take on 1,000 warriors? Do you think, like, you could take on the first Hokage and Madara, but with your pinky?" As then Jindiao would say, "Calm down, you fanboy. Gah. I know you were sealed into the form of a panda, and you were a huge fanboy back then, but you don't have to be a fanboy now." As Poland said, "Sorry, Red Vulture." Jindiao then looked at his brother with a terrifying glare and said, "Don't you dare even mention that." As Naruto then said, "What do you mean?" What do you mean? Still in the Po chakra mode. As he then said, "Oh, when maybe about 1,000 or a million years ago, and 10,000 or a million years ago, before chakra ever existed, before the Otsutsuki ever came, we were in a world of anthropomorphic and of humanoid animals, and we were sealed into humanoid forms by other beings using the powers of chi. Po here was sealed into the body of a panda, while I was sealed into the body of a drunk, old, annoying, aggravating, disgusting vulture named Chong. I hate that guy." As then Naruto said, "Yeesh. Sorry for mentioning it then." As Poland said, "Alright, now, what I want you to do is try harnessing some of my powers. Alright, first, try doing a jutsu." As Naruto then said, "Okay, As he then said, "Oh, I know. I'll use the Flying Thunder God technique." As he would then grab a kunai, which would then set ablaze with golden black energy. The kunai would then begin morphing into a giant spear. As he'd then say, "Whoa." As Naruto would then dash on, and without seeming like he's conscious, and slash a tree. As it would then begin crackling apart in the formation of dragon scales. as it would then beautifully float apart into golden and black divine flames. And there it was, a tiny little tree sapling on the floor and on the ground, as he then said, "Holy cow." As Poe then said, "Holy, you have some, what the, you have some sort of really cool, you have some sort of really cool rebirth ability. You can, like, reset something back to its previous form. That's freaking awesome!" As Deku then said, and as Naruto then said, "Yeesh. Yeesh, Poe, calm down." As he then said, "Sorry. Okay, try doing something else." As he then said, "Oh, try doing that I know. Try doing that water dragon technique. Do the exact hand signs for that technique. Exact." As he then said, "Okay, hand signs." As he would then begin, and doing hand signs. As suddenly, hold on. Naruto would then do the hand signs for the water. For the water dragon jutsu. However, instead of creating a water dragon, golden liquid began to bubble out of the ground and begin to leak from his foot onto the ground, creating a giant golden puddle. And from that puddle came the upper half of Poe, as he then said, "Holy." As he said, "Whoa, not in control here, not in control." As it felt as if Naruto was controlling him with his arm. As in said, "Naruto, steer me right, steer me left, stop!" As Naruto was flipping out, trying to control him correctly, as he moved his arm to left, right, up and down, and started spinning around, and moving his arm in shapes and circles, up and down. As in said, I have no idea what I am doing." As Pose and said, "That is very clear, bruh. That is very clear. But this is still amazing." As he then hit a wall and a mountain, which then cracked in half. As he then said, "Ow, let's do that again." As he then said, "Holy cow, that's alright, I am canceling the jutsu." As he then said, "Aw, man, and I actually wanted to eat." As the jutsu was then cancelled, as Poe would then turn back into a golden puddle, which would then stream back into Naruto's leg and Naruto's foot. As he would then turn off the mode, going back to normal. As he would then hear a strange voice from the woods. I'm from the east. As he then said, "Jindiao, Poe, do you guys hear that as well?" As Jindiao then said, Indeed I did. I would perform extreme caution. After all, we have no clue who's trying to lure you in." As Poe then said, "Yeah, I'm gonna side with my brother on this one, be careful." As Naruto would begin walking in the woods to the east, carefully and closely, until he saw the most beautiful woman in his life ever, in some sort of black and gray dress. with long, flowing raven hair and purple eyes. As he then said, "Holy cow, who's that?" As Jindiao said, "Naruto? That would be our mother." As Poe would then say, "Holy cow, she looks amazing." As Naruto would then say, "What's her name?" As suddenly their voices would be drowned out with a voice which would boom from all directions. As it would then say, "Hello, Naruto Uzumaki. I am the progenitor of dragons, the mother of beasts, chi and power, the creator of the dragon race, and the dragon primordial herself. I am the Ouroboros dragon, Ophis." And that's where I'm ending this part off. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye, and, skadoosh.